Patricia Bermudez-Hizon is a sportscaster, TV host, media executive, commentator, speaker, and empowered mother of three. Her passion and drive in all that she does, whether it be on air, on cam, or as a mother, continues to inspire Filipinos all over the country.
Welcome to another episode of In Love With Me, where we feature inspiring individuals who will share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafae Velasco, and for this series, our topic is being empowered during quarantine. For this episode, we have an empowered woman, mom, and a host, and she is going to motivate us to take action. So without further ado, let's welcome the beautiful and amazing Patricia Bermudez-Hizon. Hi, Patricia.
Hi, that's really kind. I love that you guys put together. Great job.
Thank you. And that means a lot coming from you.
That was really nice. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you've been extremely busy. You have a new blessing in your family. Before we find out what you've been up to during this quarantine period, can you please share with everyone on how you are the empowered woman that you are today?
Well, I have to say that I'm empowered only by God's grace. The truth be told, I really have gone through it. As all of us women, we've gone through a lot of things in our lives, whether they're challenges or hurts or mistakes. But at the end of it all, we stand tall because God has allowed us and is using all of that and was able to mold us to become who we are today. And that's one of the main reasons why I feel empowered. I feel empowered because I know that God is using me mightily, and I'm allowing myself to be a way for God to be able to reach out to others. And I hope that I continue to be worthy. So it's really only by God's grace. The other reason why I'm empowered is because of the people that I surround myself with, especially my husband. Everyone always says behind a successful man is a kind of woman, but we also have to acknowledge that we're able to achieve a lot of these things that we want to do as wives, as mothers, because we have supportive husbands. I mean, Mafae, you know all about that. Nick is such a great support for you. And Vince has been that as well for me. And I'm very blessed to have him.
It was fun. You know, I go back to our memories, and I did share this in my stories that I've known you and Vince for so long. Even before I met Nick, I remember being part of the celebrity list when the PBA was giving out celebrity cards, and the marketing head, I think, was Rico at the time, and he called me or he messaged me saying, Mafae, don't miss the halftime show and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, what's happening? And then all of a sudden we see Vince with a bouquet of flowers, getting on his knees, proposing to you. I was just like, oh, what a power couple. I want that too. And, you know, congratulations. It's been 17 years
17
since that amazing moment.
June 8th.
Wow. Going back to that moment, how did you feel? Did you know?
No, because I remember Vince and I had only been together for 9 months.
Okay.
We had only been dating for 9 months, and we just met a few times before we started, like not even together, but just dating, like going out for dinners and stuff like that. So 9 months, and then I just it was just a regular day for me. I had gotten my haircut that day. It was a Sunday, and I was assigned to do a game, and I received an odd phone call a few days back. But looking back at it now, it all connected. But they were asking me, you know, what my favorite songs were, what event? Oh my God, these are weird questions. But anyway,
Yeah.
so it was just a regular work day for me on that Sunday, and I had no idea all these side comments that people were making
Uh-huh.
around me, or
Yeah.
things that they were saying to me. It was really alluding to that, but I really was clueless.
You cried your butt off, obviously, from
Well, no, I wish I had a pretty cry. It wasn't ugly.
well, that means he got you then, because that's the best, I guess, reaction to receive from a surprise like that. And then moving forward, now that you have 3 beautiful children, you just had your beautiful girl, finally. How's that been?
She is wonderful. So Patrice is going to be 5 months old tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just so excited with every single thing that she can do now. Like she can turn on her belly. She can't crawl yet, but she's already, doing the actions. I really feel like I'm a first-time mom again.
Yeah. Another fun fact, me and Patricia have the same OB-GYN. We love you, Dr. Poblete.
Yes.
And we have been pregnant with our first child together.
Yes.
And our last child together, which is so crazy because, I feel like we're so aligned. And I still remember the doctor's visits, and we're both there like struggling already, like, okay, you do. And I think you had Vicenta before Moses.
Yes.
And then, and also I had, this time around, I had Mello first, and we're just 1 month apart again.
And Mafae and I used to live in the same village.
Yeah. I remember those times. That was fun. But yeah, going back to your career, I know that you have juggled so much in your life. Can you take us back on how you started being, I guess, a host? Because you are a sports host, you are a events host. How did that come about?
It's so funny. So I grew up in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I came here for a vacation after 12th grade. OACs, we have OACs, which is an extra year in high school if you want straight to university. Anyway, so I was here on vacation, and I just ended up liking it. And I was with my cousins, and it was just so much fun. You know how that is, Miss Australia. So I ended up living here, but my grandmother said, you can't just live here. You gotta study. So I ended up going to UP first for international languages, but the commute at that time, my cousins all went where I lived. Everyone was either studying or teaching in UST. So I ended up moving to UST. And in UST, I got really involved in student government and politics. I ended up taking up political science, and I was in the student council and everything. And part of my job was really to go from room to room and make announcements. And I know that was the seed of my career. I never really thought that I would, that I would be in front of people and having the privilege to speak, to host, and do all those things. But I just started hosting little events in school, and so I ended up hosting the big events. And next thing you know, I was just getting offers to host events, and that was the start of it, really.
Yeah, I'm always amazed whenever I see you working or just being on stage, because it's like, wow, she can talk and on and on and on. I mean, what's going through her mind is I always wonder that. Can you share with us on how you actually, what goes through your mind, like even before, like what motivates you?
Right. So every time I go on the stage, whether it be my 1,000th or 10,000th event, I still have butterflies in my stomach. And I use that kind of energy to really keep me focused. I get worried more when I don't have butterflies in my stomach, when I'm too chill and too calm. I like having that kind of nervous energy because then I can use it. Just so, like I said, I can stay focused. I really do my homework. I really do a lot of preparation. I don't want to have to worry about anything, how I look, what my makeup is like, and all that. Because when I'm on stage, I just want to be able to deliver the best. I call it performance as well, because a lot of people think that when you're on stage and you're just reading the script, it's just you really still have to act the part. You really still have to exaggerate on certain things, because if have to amplify the feeling that people are supposed to be feeling as well. You can't be preaching something and it's not something that they feel from you that's genuine. So I think that's so important that you really perform to your highest level, even when you're hosting on stage. So yeah, preparation, making sure that you're doing performance level, and at the same time, I'd like to say that part of the success that I've had in hosting is because I was able to understand what's happening off stage and on stage, what needs to happen, the general direction of the show. I'm not just going to go show up for an event and just get the script and just do my thing on stage. I want to be able to understand what the directors need, what the clients need, so that I can tie it all together. No matter how good a show is, if your host doesn't deliver, it really brings the energy of the entire show down. So because of that, I was able to learn more about stage directing. I was able to learn more about putting together events and even script writing. So I was able to even do that even as a host as well, and just take on a different aspect of events management.
And this is probably like a weird question, but do you ever make mistakes? And what happens when you make the mistake? Because me, I never see you make a mistake.
You just think, I just go with it. You emphasize it for fun, and you know, you just make light of the moment, and it becomes a memorable part of the audience's experience, or you just go with it as if it never happened, and you kind of just weave it in. So, gosh, I have too many examples of that.
Yeah, share one.
Right. So, for example, names are calling on people and making sure that I pronounce their names properly. That's something that I really try to avoid, because it's out of respect for all those people that share this stage with me. So I really, really even sometimes record people and how they pronounce the name, and just so I can get it right. But one mistake that I've had, for example, golf tournament. They were supposed to have an award, and one award was the most exercised award. That this person has hit the ball so many times because they're terrible, right? So they this person. So I wasn't supposed to tell this on stage what the person would receive. So I kind of screwed up on the sequence of it, but it ended up being a really funny experience because I got the person up on stage, and then started telling him what he was gonna get, and they just started bringing everything to him from rake. You know, he was getting rakes, he was getting towels, shirts, and all these little things that I guess to me at that moment it was just really funny. But I actually made a mistake at that time, and it just ended up being very, very, very memorable, I suppose. So, you know, there's a lot of experiences like that, and you just really have to make the most out of every moment that you get.
And of course, you're also, you have interviewed so many important people. Who is the most memorable one that you have?
Kobe.
Yeah, I saw that earlier in the photos. I was surprised with that one. I'm glad they found that.
Yeah. So my favorite Kobe experience, that's why I was crying a river when he passed away. But when they were here for the first Ultimate All-Star Weekend, which was 2011, I forgot. I had already hosted a number of events prior to that. So I don't want to say, we knew each other, because of course he gets to see a lot of people, but he seemed very genuine to say, hey, of course, I remember you. Hey, what's up? And then he would give a nice hug. But that wasn't even the best moment. The best moment is after that event, I have the courage. And while the last couple of seconds of the game was ongoing and he was near me, I drove courage to ask him if I could have his jersey. He said, okay, I got you. I was like, okay, cool. So after everything, there was pandemonium. Everyone was on the floor, everyone who could get access, because you have these NBA superstars, right? So everyone was pulling whichever player in any kind of direction, and Kobe was whisked away by his security. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm not going to get that jersey. And then next thing you know, his security came to me and said, come here. I was like, oh. So I went to the back of Araneta, and he took me to where the driveway was. So you know how Araneta is, right?
At the back.
So where the driveway was at the end of the tunnel, there was a road. So he took me there, and he took me to the car where Kobe was. And as soon as Kobe opened the door, he said, "See, I got you." He removed the shirt.
Oh my God.
Topless. He removed the shirt and gave me that shirt.
Oh my goodness.
Favorite experience. Not because I have a shirt in front of me. Because who am I, right? Who am I for this kind of superstar to keep a promise to? So he promised me that shirt. He didn't forget. There were so many people, I'm sure, asking for that shirt. So up till now, I still have that shirt. I also got the shirt of Derek Fisher, but I had already auctioned that for the building of our church before, and we got a good amount for that shirt to the church. But there's no way I'm going to get rid of that Kobe Bryant shirt.
Of course.
It took me a long time before I washed it.
But hey, you have a piece of his love with you.
Yeah, what a great person. I mean, that's why the whole world mourned, because this guy is genuine. And I think for all of us, for any of us, when we leave this earth, you want to be able to leave an impact enough where people will not just say good things, but will also feel good things when they think of you.
Exactly. And to me, honestly, Patricia, you are one of the women that I look up to. Your aura, your personality is just always positive. How do you keep that energy? Is there a certain habit that you do every day that keeps you so humble and fresh?
Well, lately, wow, look at those kids. They're so tiny. The Santa's like 6 feet already.
I know. I saw him singing, by the way. Congrats on your singer there.
He's really good. And Paul is almost my height. So what do I do? Honestly, I do my quiet time. Whenever I rush off to do something else and not do my quiet time in the morning as soon as I wake up, I really feel off balance. I'm doing soap. This Bible journal called Soap, or Soap is a system where you read the scripture, you do your observation, you do an application, and then prayer. And this one that I'm doing has different seasons. So I'm actually doing leadership season on Soap. So all the scriptures that I'm reading is about leadership, and it really helps me because right now is a really difficult time for any business. And I actually I actually joined a new company, and it's very challenging because of the pandemic, because of the situation. So I really have had to manage the stress and the anxiety that I feel by really immersing myself in what I should be reading. I try to stay away, and I try not to watch things that will add to my anxiety. I know that there are a lot of important issues around the world that are happening, particularly in the US, for example. Yeah, I get my dose of that just to keep up to date, but I try as much as possible to stay away from anything that will steal my joy. So instead of having something steal your joy, I do things right away that will give me the positivity that I need, because sometimes it's not really natural for us to be happy, right? Sometimes you gotta do something to get your energy flowing. So it's surrounding yourself with the right things, creating an environment where you could be happy and positive, but at the same time, exercise helps a lot.
So have you been able to get some time to exercise during this time?
Yeah. So I've been biking a lot. We're blessed to be living in a village where they've allowed us, and they never stopped allowing us to walk around, jog around, or bike. So I love biking with my friends here, with my husband, even with my kids. But even Vince is kind of strict when it comes to work out all the time. He's watching this, so he wants to work out all the time. That's great. And that's great. He's very strict with the boys, especially. But I get to join their workouts and everything. It's only been for 5 months almost since I gave birth, but I really got back into the rhythm of working out again as soon as we had lockdown.
Is there something new that you've learned about yourself during this time?
Yeah, that I don't know much. Honestly, I thought, hey, I've had 2 kids. For example, in raising Patrice, I've had 2 kids. I know what I'm doing. This should be easy.
Yeah.
Then I struggle. I'm not like one of those moms that have already figured out how to put their kids to sleep, their babies to sleep for 12 hours at a time after the 12th week. I'm like, I just feel so I feel defeated. Not that it's a race or anything, but I just feel that there's a lot to be learned still. And I like that, actually. I'm not going to go out in this world and say, hey, you know what? I know everything. I like taking that position that I don't know much because it helps me want to learn more. And this is what you do too, Mafae. You continue to reinvent your wheel. You continue to do all these things, and I love it. And I want to be as as productive as you are as well in that area.
Well, I have a big Brady bunch, so I have to make sure they're always on their toes. They keep me on my toes, so it's vice versa. Yeah. But somebody reminding me of something. You were Binibini Filipinas 1996 semifinals.
Okay, we're ending this.
Something new. So how was it joining a pageant? That's something you didn't tell me, huh?
Hey, no, I was just forced. No, but it's just my past life, and it was one of those that I ended up doing before. But it was a great learning experience. I never had the height like you. I've always just been kind of athletic. I was never, the super slender type. Not that that's really the measure of beauty in these beauty pageants.
It's got nothing to do with it. You got the beauty of brains.
Yeah, it's really always been about how the person actually shares who she is inside, and it was a great experience, and I'd like to think that everything that I've gone through, whether I deny it now or not, they're all part.
Thank you for reminding me, Shekha.
Okay, I'm following you now. But that's been all part of the growth. It's not something that has defined me, but it is something that has helped me because it is a wonderful experience. It is a different experience.
And you have the best crown you're wearing right now, which is a wife and a mom.
Right.
Beautiful.
And here in this house, I am.
Yeah. Well, now you have like a second queen. So
right. Or you everyone right now. She's at the center of everything.
But that's so amazing. I feel as though that, when having babies, of course, new blessings in the home, it makes you feel young again. And I see you and Vince just glowing with happiness. I have to congratulate you guys again because it's such an amazing blessing that you have. And earlier we were just talking about that. It's nice. I guess time does go a little bit faster for us since we have newborns because they keep us on our toes, right?
Oh.
Are you getting sleep?
No, not a lot. Not a lot. And that's what I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to sleep as early as I can. I can't sleep in the afternoon because of work, because of homeschooling, because of all these things that we do at home. But, I try to sleep with her. I just can't. There's just so many things that are going on, even at 11 in the evening. So I try my best, maybe 11, 12 sometimes, most times. And then she wakes up to feed again almost every 2 to 3 hours. But I feel that she wakes up by 5 and she just feeds I feel she's just attached to me. From 5
she's a baby. She's growing.
Right? 7:30. So in terms of number of hours, no, I'm not getting it. But in time, I'll get there. I'm trying not to pressure myself, but I was telling Vince, and Vince has been so wonderful to wake up and change diapers, which I hardly do in the middle of the night. I really sleep as much as I can. Even if it's just an extra 3 minutes of shut-eye, right? It helps. But I really need to work on that. It's something that I'm trying to research on. I've joined some talks online that helps with sleep coaching for babies and just helping me manage her rhythm more. So, yeah, we'll get there.
Do you have the Love to Dream Swaddle Up? That might help.
Well, she's already 4 months and she's already turning to her stomach. So
No, it's okay. You can still use it.
okay. Well, I still have my swaddle. I still have all these things, which I'm sharing to some, first
Other
time
moms.
as well.
Yeah.
Other moms, that's how it is. I'm very blessed because I'm a product of hand-me-downs. I'm a hand-me-down person.
Oh yeah. Me too.
Amazing.
That's the best, I think, because at least it's coming from love. People are passing it down. But going back to your career, I know that you have, or probably to me, one of the best women announcers or hosts, and you were doing live basketball games, which is not easy to do. So how did you, I guess, venture to that? Or of course, basketball has been part of your life for a long time, so I'm pretty sure you know how basketball is. But I know there's always like something happening, like something not expected.
Right.
So how does that compare to hosting?
Well, the emotion that you want people to feel has to still be there. Preparation is key. I'm not like other sportscasters that I know that they have this natural ability, and they're also always in the loop. I try to stay in the loop as much as I can, but of course I was more immersed in what was happening before when I was just solely in that industry. So preparation is really key for me, and doing extra work. To prepare for one game, it takes me literally one whole day to prepare for it. But that's just sitting down in front of the computer and getting all the stats right, writing down all these things. So it's like preparing for an examination all the time.
Right.
And I feel that it's the kind of preparation and treatment that kind of job deserves. Because not a lot of people have had the privilege of doing that. And it was a lot of pressure because being a woman, I didn't like it. Sorry, hate is such a strong word. I did not like it when people would say, "Oh, she's good enough for a girl, for a woman." I just wanted to be good enough compared to everyone else, compared to everyone else. So it was a lot of pressure. But again, I use that pressure and I use that nervous energy to help me become better. One thing that is extremely important in that kind of work is that you have to have this ability to tell a story. Not the stats, beyond breaking down the stats, knowing the jersey numbers, knowing the stories, the background of all these players, is to be able to create a story out of what you see in an instant, right away, and be able to masterfully express what you're seeing, and be able to not just allow the people to ride on with what you're saying, because they also see it, right? It's a visual medium. They're also seeing what you're seeing. So what do you add to it? So you add emotion, you add emphasis, and you add all these other things that really make the viewing experience for basketball or any sport for that matter different. So you're talking about human drama. You're emphasizing down to the dripping of their sweat. You make that part of the storytelling. For sportscasting. I've just been really blessed, but that I was able to do basketball, but really I also trained myself to do other sports. Basketball was not the first sport that I did commentary on. I've done the Olympics prior to joining the PBA, and that itself is was a difficult route because back in 2000, Sydney Olympics.
Yeah, I was there. You were there?
That was amazing. Yes, it was the best experience.
Gosh, how amazing.
It was my first ever sportscasting experience, and I was tasked to do the opening ceremonies, which I did with Seb Sarmenta, who just held my hand all throughout. That was such a great experience. But one of the sports that I needed to cover was Taekwondo. I had no idea how or what the intricacies of that sport was. Rules. So what I did months prior to the Olympics, I actually signed up for Taekwondo, and they got Stephen Fernandez, who was an Olympian for Taekwondo when it wasn't an Olympic sport yet. It was a demonstration sport. So I trained under him, and bruises, injuries, and some belts later, I have confidence to be able to understand not just the sport. It's easy. You can read about the rules, you can watch videos, and understand and be able to get by. But I really wanted to feel each and every single blow to the leg, each and every single thing that a person may go through, an athlete may go through, so that I can really tell the story and be able to anticipate also what the different moves are. So that really launched, for me, that really launched my sportscasting career.
Wow, amazing. I love that story. I mean, it only takes someone with experience or feeling it, like you said, to be able to express it in a way that you understand, I guess, the lingo, like what sort of action is, what they just did. But that's amazing, Patricia. That's so key on, like you keep saying, be prepared. Even if you know that you have the opportunity months ahead, this is how you prepare for you to be successful on spreading news or like that, sportscasting. I did see that you worked with Vince. So how is it working with your husband in this field?
I was very comfortable. I'm really, really happy that I got that experience. And a lot of people like Spin PH wrote about it, and I think 2 others, and they said we were possibly the first ever husband and wife tandem to cover basketball in the world. I have no idea on how to confirm that, but for them to even think that we're the first ones in the world, that was really cool. It's comfortable because Vince and I talk about sports, talk about basketball often. And when we watch basketball, especially, prior to that, whenever we watch basketball, we really go through the motion back and forth. Not that I was practicing, but it was just natural.
Yeah, of course.
That we did anyway in the living room. And the difference is they just gave us a microphone and gave us a platform and paid us for it. So we're really
easy peasy. You get like a couple who is naturally gets along anyway and talks about basketball all day, every day. So why not?
I refer to him as coach all throughout. So it's not like I'd say, "Hey, hun," or
I would always hear you be so professional. So I thought it would be like, just go naturally like that. But yeah, that's amazing. I don't know if I could do that. I might accidentally say baby to Nick if ever we had that chance. But yeah, you're a professional and it shows.
But the trick for me was to put the word coach on the screen near me, just so I'll always remember. So it's not because I'm great, but because I utilize all these little hacks and tricks to make sure that I remember and I stay on script, they say.
And then you had the opportunity to be behind the camera.
Yes.
The one leading at the team, making sure that the production was perfect. How did that feel, boss lady?
Actually, so I left TV5 already last December 31. That's after 5 years of being head of sports for TV5. And it was such a great experience. I really loved it because I got to work with people who I started working with when I started my career as a sportscaster, or they were the ones who were leading me and helping me when I transitioned to the PBA and all that. For me, it was easy because I'd like to think that I've always treated everyone with the respect that they deserve, always treated everyone like family, always admired people for what they would offer, and would always try to give them an opportunity, not just to show what they can do with the job that they were given, but always give an opportunity for them to shine beyond that. And really, as a boss, as a leader, as someone who heads a group, that's really what you can do. You do hire people for what they can do, for their skill set and for their expertise. So you don't have to pretend that you're better than them. What you need to do is to be able to utilize their expertise and their skill set and make them even better. And I think that's the key as a leader. You have to give them opportunities, encouragement, and the opportunities to be able to make themselves better, to be able to really test themselves and really, harness their skills. And I'd like to think that that was one of the main job descriptions that I had when I headed sports. And that applied not just to the people behind the scenes, but also to the ones in front of the scenes, like in front of the cameras, rather. I was always proud of, let's say, the female sportscasters that we had, the roster of sportscasters that we had. Not only are they beautiful, because they are, not only are they beautiful, they're also very talented and very driven. So we just had to give them opportunities where, for example, for a long time, they were just stuck at being a courtside reporter. Then we would challenge them to learn, let's say, volleyball and learn a sport and be an analyst or a play-by-play announcer, or even prepare them to be the next female PBA play-by-play announcer. So that's always been my dream. I really just wanted to make sure that as a leader, I would just give an opportunity for everyone to get better. But apart from that, it was a lot of work on getting contracts done. A lot of the, I guess, a lot of the work that is really not as glamorous as people think is, meetings, getting people together, getting ideas together, and meeting a lot of people from all over the world.
Right. And that's, I have the utmost respect for the people behind the scenes, because without them, there would not be a production. There won't be, the talents being guided on what to say, spills, lights, the cameraman. They are really the best team to have. So I'm grateful for my team here. Hi, guys. But with that, Patricia, you've shared so many inspiring words. But during this time, of course, we need to hear more of that to boost everybody's happy hormones. So, what would be your words of wisdom to women, to mothers, to entrepreneurs that that could help them, especially at this time?
Well, one practical tip or one practical thing that we all can do is to not be too hard on ourselves. I think that's my mistake when we started this lockdown. I demanded so much of myself to get back into shape, get this house in perfect shape, tip-top condition, make sure that my kids are doing all these extra work for their academics, and make sure that I give the best meals for my husband. And little did I know that it was taking so much energy from me too. We only have 24 hours in a day. And even if that 24 hours is spent here in just one place, we're locked down at home, it doesn't mean that you can actually do everything and pressure yourself. Sure, you can do a lot of things that will help you, go beyond what your usual routine is, and that's great. But when you're not able to, I say, don't be too hard on yourself, because you're just adding pressure. It's one thing for you to want to be able to achieve all these things, but it's another thing for you to actually forget about your own happiness in your journey to make everyone around you happy. So it's important also that you're able to take care of yourself and spend time to just relax. We can all be locked down, but sometimes we imprison ourselves with so much pressure to deliver, to be the best mom, to have the best house, create the best meals that's Instagram worthy, and that. I thought I was gonna be trapped with that, but I just decided not to. There are so many other things that we can do, but we really won't be able to achieve all that if we don't also focus on giving ourselves a break. I guess that's one important aspect that I'd like to share with everyone, because I know that as a mom, there's a lot of pressure out there that we all face all the time. But I guess another thing that I wanted to share with everyone is really spend some time to read the word. You can apply what I mentioned earlier, so scripture, observation, application, and prayer. When you're able to read scripture that way and see how it applies to you, I mean, not just reading the Bible. It's one way to read the Bible, then it just becomes words that go in this way, go out that way, right? You can keep reading the Bible, but if you're not able to observe what the Bible is saying, down to, oh, I can't believe that they use this word, or I can't believe they're alluding to this person. So observation. And then how you apply that in your life, it's not, the Bible is not going to come, become real to you. So I think that's one thing that I really would like to share with everyone. Really go deep into your knowledge of the Bible, because God really speaks to us in so many ways, but we're not going to be able to decipher what he's telling us if we're not familiar with him, if we don't know his words. So it's just something that I feel can really empower us as moms and as individuals. Can tap into that power at any time. And honestly, Mafae, myself, and so many moms out there won't be able to do anything without God, because with God we can do all things.
Amen to that. So before we wrap up, Patricia, I have a last question here. What is your beauty secret?
Oh, Saki. That's a nice name, both though. Okay, no beauty secret. Honestly, I ran out of moisturizer. I've had the privilege of being with facial care for a long time, but prior to that, I really wasn't going to dermatologists regularly. So just in the past year and a half, I've been with facial care, and I love their treatments. I'm not sure if facial care will start treating soon, but I want to be in line. But really, I really just use regular like Neutrogena and regular stuff for my face. Nothing expensive, nothing out of the ordinary. I'd like to say I get a lot of sleep, but I don't. I'd like to say that, I make sure that my face is clean all the time, because I sweat a lot. I go out, I garden, I bike, and, I expose my skin to all these things. I guess at the end of the day, I'd like to thank my mom for good genes. My mom is 70, and she really looks like she's just 55. She really looks great. And even her siblings have very beautiful skin. So I think that's one of the reasons. But at the end of the day, just, I think it comes from within. People say this all the time. It's beauty from within. But because it's true, no matter what kind of makeup you put on yourself or skin regimen that you have, if you're not going to be a person who's comfortable to face other people, who's comfortable in her own skin, that won't matter.
Exactly. Well said, and I think it also, additional to that, what Patricia was mentioning earlier, is you have to be really in love with yourself. And how you can start with that is being very spiritual, thanking God for everything that you have. All the blessings that we have is from him. We just have to realize that and have me time when you can, put aside in your day. It could be just like a quick thanking God for everything. And I also like, the take homes from Patricia today is, with anything you do, you have to prepare. You have to really educate yourself. You have to enhance yourself, reinvent yourself, so that you can be successful in that job or in that career. Because after that, when people see that you're taking the time and respecting others, respecting their time, perfecting the craft, then other doors will open. As you can see, Patricia is still a successful woman in all the years that she's been in her job, in her career as a woman who loves God, and now a new mom, and still such a power woman that I really am inspired by. And with that, guys, I hope that she inspired you today. And lastly, actions speak louder than words. So guys, thank you for tuning in another episode of In Love With Me. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you for watching In Love With Me series.